What's up, family? It's none other than your boy Jay Giddins, the father. As usual, remember to be positive, optimistic. Keep positive people in your circle. I'm here with my goddess. My goddess Danielle. Y'all know she's rarely on my page like that.
With the babies in the background.
Yeah, my son is gonna... What's gonna happen is they're gonna try to purposely make noise because...
They want our attention.
What's up, PC Reflection? Shout out to everybody who come into the live. Yeah, they're gonna try to make noise because we're giving our attention. Anytime we give our attention to something else, they demand our attention. So they like make noise or they try to act like something's going on, whatever it is. Somebody said, "Hey God, what solar return mean?" Peace to y'all, by the way. So I mean, solar. So when you think of solar, right, it comes from the word sun, which is sol. In Spanish, we know Spanish comes from the Spanish conquistadors, which descend from ancient Greece, which are the same as European. They are the same. So solar refers to the solar system, right? So when you say solar return, you're referring to your soul coming from the cosmos, right? So the reason we say happy solar return is because it is not our belief that we're ever born, right? That we exist as of the date. For instance, my birthday, right, is October 20th of 1986, right? We don't follow the belief that we actually became in existence on that day. We know time is not, first of all, time is not real. You see, this rabbit hole is deep. When you ask questions like that, there's so many other things you have to know to even know that. But, so you're just basically referring to the day that your soul returned from the cosmos to inhabit this vessel, because you want to know that you are not this is not you. You are
your car.
Right. You are driving this. This is a vessel. This is a vehicle. This is an avatar. You know what I mean? When you understand that, then it makes more sense, right? So that's why we say happy solar return. But what's up, everybody? We just jumped on here. There was no, I guess, particular reason or topic. We do plan to do a live where we discuss polygamy directly. That may come up during this live, but this one was more so for anybody out there who might have, like questions or concerns. And for anybody who watched this video back, if you make it through this much, I guess that means you're interested. Feel free to comment, in the comments, any questions that you might have, and we'll jump back on another live and do a part 2 or just, it don't even have to be parts to it. We'll just jump on a live and answer any questions or anything like that.
Yeah, and if you have any questions specifically for me, because I'm not usually involved, this is a special occasion thing. So you have any questions or things that you may have wondered that I could answer specifically, because I'm not always in his lives. Now would be a great time. So.
Right, 90% of the time she's not even active on my Instagram page. So this is why, I did this live
on Instagram at all.
Right, so that we can have a chance to kind of let y'all see, my goddess, who it is that is the driving force behind me, and for all of the guys out there, the kings out there, I would tell y'all, y'all need to make sure that you find yourself a goddess. My young goddess just popped in, y'all. You ain't gonna pop in, you live over here, you might as well say hey. My young goddess Journey, that y'all know that's my eldest child, right?
Ew, don't say eldest.
She's 12, but she feels like she's old, I guess, for some reason. But
and here's Sunshine. Can you say hi?
And here's Sunshine. He's the one demanding attention over here.
Yeah. They can't see you over there.
Come here.
Come here, Jade.
Come
you
to
gotta
Daddy
come this
so
way.
you can see.
Come here, Jade.
Go to Daddy.
Oh, look at
Right, so y'all can see Jade too. Say hi. Jay, say hi.
Say
Mommy.
Say hi.
Yeah, video.
Oh, you being so extra right now. Listen.
She was in the background saying hi.
She like to act funny when she get in front of the camera, Journey. You're not even in there. She like to yeah, peace to the young guy. They said peace to the young guy. Jizzle said the star seeds out. Yeah, you know how it is, baby. Look, Justice would be out here too, but she's doing some work that she was supposed to do earlier and didn't do.
And excuse our unclothed children. Our children do not like clothed and they're not restricted by that in the house. So
right, considering the fact that
the younger ones.
right, well, yeah, she's gonna need to put clothes on, but you know, the younger two, yeah, they don't like that. What's up to you, Lee? Lee V22. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. I'll never forget. I kind of like touched base with you on the Diamond Challenge that we did. He said, "True inspiration, family." Yeah, man. This is what I get to wake up to every day. You know, I manifested this. I spent, you know, because I don't want nobody to think you just like. Can y'all hear me okay too? Let me know if y'all having trouble hearing at all. It's a lot of noise, but and I have a slight headache too, specifically because something just pissed me off a little bit that I'm gonna address in a minute too. But oh, you got the charger. But yeah, like I was saying, what was I saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're talking about something specific.
Oh, I was saying, me and Lee, oh, he said we good. Yeah, me and Lee, we kind of touched base once we was doing the diamond push-up challenge. We was doing 99 diamond push-ups. And Lee, like, I think he even did it in 2 sets or did like 80 and then did the rest of them or did like, I don't know, but either way, it was to the point where he didn't have to break it into sets like me. See, when I actually do, I'm about driving. Okay. Yeah, Taiwan Johnson might jump in here with us too, y'all. Much love to you. And anybody who want to jump into the live, y'all more than welcome to. This is really just about us building and, you know, having conversations about things. But I do diamond push-ups, 100 of them. So now I got to the point where I do 40, 25, 20, 15. That's my 100. You know what I'm saying? And then I do 50 more regular push-ups. But anywho, yeah, if there's any like topics of conversation y'all want to talk about, just let us know. I'm gonna talk about what is the thing that I guess most important to me, or what the thing is that is most important to me, which is parenting. You know what I mean? So let me just touch base with y'all about something that just pissed me off that I found out about and gave me a little headache.
Time this thing and not have an hour conversation about it.
I'm gonna try to not make the conversation too long about it because God has just told me a little bit earlier she don't want me to spend too much time on it. Not to mention it raised my blood pressure. I was really upset. Huggy Wuggy, okay? Huggy Wuggy, okay? Which is on a game. What's that game called? Poppy Playtime, right? This character Huggy Wuggy. Can you stop for a minute, please? Look, let me just. I'm gonna do a whole live on this. I want y'all to know I'm gonna do a whole live because this pissed me off. And any parent who supports this, I just want to know why. I guess that's I'll be friendly. I just want to know why. That's all. So Huggy Wuggy, right? This is Huggy. Why is it not like I had? Okay. Look, this is Huggy Wuggy, y'all. Let me show y'all Huggy Wuggy.
Right directly under the counter.
This is Huggy Wuggy, and this is something that they be showing to. This is something that they got kids looking at and playing on games and stuff like that. Hold on, the daggone thing is dying.
Yeah, because he took the charger.
You see this? Look at that. Look at that. Now, what parent in their right mind? I'm just really curious. What parent? I don't want to insult nobody. Listen, I'm gonna do another live on it. But Huggy Wuggy is a character on this game that they got called Poppy Playtime, and they have other. Look, somebody said what the exactly. And they got other characters. Somebody called
on the screen, Gerald sitting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Something called Kissy Missy or Missy Kissy or something. I don't know. It's a pink version of that ugly blue thing you just saw. And she's like, you know, in my eyes, I just hear she's a slut whore prostitute. But what she is she kisses you, or she comes up like she's gonna kiss you, and then she like bites your head off. Like, why you would want to be showing these things to your child? Why you would think it's okay? I have no idea. I actually do have an idea, it just irritates me, so I'm sarcastically saying I don't. But I'm going to do a whole live about that. But for anybody in who have children, look up Huggy Wuggy or Poppy Playtime and just make sure that your children do not go into it. Or just ask them, hey, do you know what this is? If they say yes, y'all need to have a conversation. If they say no, then immediately steer the conversation somewhere else and be like, oh yeah, I seen that commercial with the toy trucks, and you know what I mean. So they don't think about it anymore. All right, somebody said it looked like some Five Nights at Freddy type. Yeah, it do. It looked like it. I mean, like it's the equivalent
It's
of letting
something I wouldn't watch now.
Yeah, like I
As an
wouldn't.
adult.
Yeah, that's just insane. And my 9-year-old told me about it. You know what I mean? Justice. She told me about it, and I was like, why in the world would you like? I don't know. You know, he said, I appreciate you, girl. Yeah, appreciate you as well. So anyways, that's my disclosure on that. Y'all get ready to see a lecture / rant / angry post from me about Poppy playtime, huggy wuggy, whatever, because I'm going to go in depth on that. I'm going to tag it. I'm going to pull up the hashtag, show all the people who doing stupid stuff with it, because they got little kids who like making sharp things with their teeth and putting blood on themselves, and it's doing a bunch of things to mess up people's mind.
How do you
said,
go about disciplining your kids?
See what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
That is a very good question, and if you don't mind, I would like to go first.
And I would like to go second.
So, the first thing is we don't like to use the term discipline. It's a very hard term for us to use because when you think about that, we think about punishment or like something that you're trying to do to make somebody miserable. When you think about the word discipline, that's a very negative, condescending word. And that's not to say that anybody that uses it is wrong because that's what we grew up using. We just don't like using it in here. But what we do here is like, so we actually, I can use some examples. So our kids, you know, our 2 oldest kids, they go to school, they go virtually. And there are times where they would, you know, not do their work or, you know, their grades would slip and stuff like that. So when that happens, what we do is, like, our oldest daughter has a phone, and we tell her, you know, just let us take the distraction away for a minute. As soon as you get that grade up, you can get your phone back. This is not about punishment. This is not saying you have a certain amount of time. If it takes you 1 day to get your grade back up, that's when you're going to get your phone. If it takes you a week, that's when you're going to get your phone. We don't give her a time schedule like you're grounded for a week or anything like that. That's just unnecessary. Just do what you have to do and you can get what you want for the most part. But we will take away any of the distractions that are keeping you from doing what it is that we ask, because we also explain to them we don't ask you to do anything that will harm you. We don't want harm here. We don't want to make you miserable. We're doing this because this is what we need you to do to help us move through the matrix. So, you know, that's kind of our version of what you may say discipline. I don't know. We don't do like timeouts or anything like that though. When it comes to the toddlers, we don't really do anything for that. I appreciate the solar return wish happiness that was sent to me. But with the toddlers, it's just a repeat thing. Sometimes we have to separate the 2 of them because they get kind of wild. Or if their cousins are over, we have to separate them for a second in order for them to get themselves together if they're flipping out. But again, other than that, we don't really have a discipline. That's the way I describe it.
Yeah, so Huggy Wuggy gave me a headache. Like I'm gonna lie, I'm so upset about this because it just pisses me off that people know about this and nobody's like refuting it or like saying why does this exist, boycotting them or something. My bad. Back to the question. So when it comes to discipline, the thing about it is it really boils down to
So
this is a she.
Yeah, 9 God.
This is Jade.
A girl.
Yeah, this is my daughter. This is the youngest girl.
It is no problem. We just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Our boy is right here.
This is Gerald. Come here, son. Let me put them right next to each other so y'all can. I'm gonna still answer that question too.
Bigger.
Yeah. So Gerald's a little bigger. This is my 3-year-old son. Say hi. And this is the 2-year-old daughter. Okay. All right. But so look, when it comes to discipline, right? What it really boils down to. Hold on. Let me turn the air on.
I'll do it. Right.
Yeah. So look, when it comes to discipline, right? Like. That's kind of a deep topic, right? Because what it really boils down to is how you view your child, right? So I would answer this and give suggestions to y'all in terms of parenting advice as well.
My phone died, son.
When you view your child as beneath you, or you view your child as, you know, like someone that's under you, you tend to look at it as if you have to come down on them. What it is you want to try to get their help with things, right? And one thing that I always say to people is involve your child in the parenting. Like, involve your child in the parenting. For instance, Journey, my 12-year-old, if me and her are having issues, I don't come to her like, yeah, you better do such and such. I say, hey, listen, I'm trying to be the best dad that I can be for you. What things do you think I could do best? Right? When we saying, oh, you don't get in trouble. First of all, we don't use that word. There's no trouble. Ain't nobody in this house getting in trouble because it's nothing but gods and goddesses in here, and we don't get in trouble by nobody. So that don't work that way. Nobody gets in trouble. My daughter can say to me, Dad, why are you yelling at me like that? I really don't like how you yelling at me. And I'll be like, understood. I might not say it at the time, but at the end of the day, it's understood. And I give her that respect. So what I really want to say when it comes to disciplining your child is you want to look at them as a co-conspirator in their own raising. So you let them know, hey, I have to do this now. And my God has said this as well, but I'm just elaborating on your treatment toward the child and the way you verbalize it, like the way you say it to them. You let them know, hey, I'm doing this because I want to make you the best that you can be, and I want to work alongside you. Do you think I'm wrong for doing this? And asking that question, hey, like for instance, she said we might take her phone away. Okay, we say, listen, we're going to take your phone away because your phone is a distraction. Not because we the big bad wolf and we could tell you to. Not because we your daddy and I said so. But because I pay the phone bill. All of that type of stuff, that's listen, if you the type of parent that's doing that kind of stuff, I'm not even going to say like you're a bad parent enough, and please don't take it the wrong way. I'm just saying, please accept some constructive criticism, right? You shouldn't be saying to your child, yeah, I'm going to take your phone because I bought it because that's mine, or I pay for it, or I'm your father, or all of that's foolishness. All of that's ego. All of that's meaning you trying to challenge your child. What you want, fight? Like, what do you mean? Why are you talking to your child like that? What it should be is, hey, listen, clearly there's some distractions taking place in what you're doing. I'm going to remove the distraction because I want to make sure you can be the best you can be. If they, why are you taking my phone? Then that's an opportunity for a conversation. Then y'all sit down and say, okay, well, let's have the conversation. Why do you think that it's wrong that I take your phone? If I don't take your phone, do you think you would still be able to do that? See, these types of conversations people can't have with their child because they view them as beneath them. It's no different than any other relationship. Like if I was in a relationship with my goddess and I view her as beneath me, we can't ever have a conversation because as far as I'm concerned, she beneath me. So what I said goes and all of that. And I'm not going to want to listen to what she got to say because I'm the man and she the one. People who have that mindset, their relationships are destined to fail.
And that's for any relationship, even for father and daughter, mother, parent and child relationship as well. It isn't just, when you say the word relationship, that means any person that you're dealing with.
Right. How long ago she said that?
Just now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you know what I mean? It's like at the end of the day, what it all boils down to is respect your child. Respect your child. And we'll say it one more time for the 3, 6, and the 9. Respect your child. If you respect your star seed, and you have to understand that they are more valuable than you. They have all of your biological traits plus more. You know what I'm saying? They literally are more valuable than you in terms of their vessel's biological existence. So you should be grateful that you have the right to take place in their raising. And you should ask them for help. Like, a lot of parents, they get mad. These kids get on my nerves. They blah, blah, blah. What you should do is instead of yelling at the child about how you wish somebody come get them, or you wish they could get out your face, or you wish somebody, I've never said that in my life. And a lot of people would say, oh, that's because you're a father, blah, blah, blah. I cut the umbilical cord and brought all my children home. I have not been away from her, not one day since she was born. I've only been away from her. No. I've been away from her 2 nights since she was born. And that was because the hospital wouldn't let me stay in there. I've never been away from him. Gerald, they can't see you. I've never been away from him. And I've never been away from her. So I'm not like in a position of speaking from this father who don't play a role or nothing like that. I'm telling you, I've never felt, and with my eldest 2 daughters, I've only been away from them during the time that they were being kept from me, which I'm not going to get into because my headache from Huggy Wuggy will grow bigger. Okay? So what I'm just going to say is, I'm speaking from the perspective of a real father who, not saying that other fathers are not real because everybody's situation is different, but from my perspective, I have never said all these kids getting on my... Well, no. They have gotten on my nerves, but I've never said, oh, I wish somebody come get these kids. or oh, y'all kids get on my nerves, or oh, y'all, talking to my children like that, casting these spells on them. See, and this is why it's necessary. See, we about to get deep. This is why it's necessary for you to grow. This is why it's necessary for you to grow your spirit and your soul so that you can be a better being. Because in order for you to understand that your star seeds are more than just some kids that you popped out, you have to understand what a soul is. And in order for you to understand why you should respect them, she has this thing where she put covers on her head and stuff for some reason. But in order for you to look at them as if, they are to be respected, you have to understand that they are not just some baby. That's a soul that is occupying that vessel that you're tasked with helping to grow. It's funny because we're watching this show, right, called The Man Who Fell to Earth or something. What's it called? The Man Who Fell to Earth, right? I would recommend that y'all watch that. It's called The Man Who Fell to Earth. The Man Who Fell to Earth, yeah. And on there, he came to Earth from another planet. And they're talking about, y'all know. If you woke, you tapped it, you know what it is. But he came here and he didn't know anything. It was like he was a baby. And he literally had to learn everything. And he was learning based on who was teaching him. And different people was treating him different ways. So you want to understand that this is what you got going on with your star seed. And then another thing you want to understand, it's crazy all of this came from that one question about discipline. But another thing you want to make sure that you understand. If anybody has any questions, put them in the question box. We'll go back through the comments, so I'm not saying if you don't put it in the question box, we won't address it, but it'll pop up with a number so we can see it if you put it in the question box, and we'll address it. But I wanted to say, all I was gonna say was just make sure that you respect your child. Make sure that you understand that they are a sponge. Y'all hear this, but it's like real. When you really raise children and you know children, which I do, they are a sponge. Every single thing that like you do around them, they see it, they pick up on it, they ingest it, and they process it psychologically, and it becomes a part of what they are and who they are. So you want to stop saying certain things around them. You want to understand that cursing is not, and I'm going to say this just for this, it's not shit, ass, bitch, that kind of stuff. That's not cursing. Cursing is, you ain't gonna be shit just like your father. You being dumb. You can't do nothing. God, you always getting on my fucking nerves. These are curses that you're casting on your child. You should never say these things. If you feel like you gotta say those, step outside the room or send them outside the room and say them to yourself or something. But you should never be casting these kind of spells on your child, and you have to know that words are spells to even know that. My apologies.
So I just wanted to go back on something he had said, which was, involving the kids and what's going on with their lives, because at the end of the day, we are one, and we are here to guide them, not force them to do anything. What I try to explain to a lot of people is that when it comes to your kids, we are here. Like literally, they decide what they want to do. Although they may listen to you, that's their decision to listen to you. You cannot control another being, not even your child. Although you may say, oh, they mine, and although the government may say to you, oh, you responsible for that. If these kids decide I'm leaving and you never going to see me again, they can decide that, and that's just going to be that. So when they listen to you, that's them deciding to accept your guidance. So, and that's why at the end of the day, when you have toddlers, you have to say the same thing to them over and over and over again, because they decide not to listen to you. They like, oh no, I want to do it, so I'm gonna listen to you for right this second, but when that urge come back, I'm gonna do it. Like, so that's why you end up repeating yourself over and over and over again when they come to toddlers, because they haven't gotten to that age where they understand that your guidance is for them. They're like, you just telling me something I don't want to do. Like, so that's why it's very important to involve your children in what's going on in their lives. With our two oldest, we always, even after there's some kind of like, disagreement, or we may get in our feelings, they get in their feelings, we then come together and we ask them, how did you feel about what happened? Like, explain to us what we could have done as parents better. Explain to us what we could do now to help you with the situation that that was bothering you. You know, at the end of the day, we are here to help. We're not here to force you and make your life miserable. And that's never going to be the case with us. So that's very important in this family for us to involve them a lot and have one-on-one conversations with them about the things that we may disagree about when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, and one thing I would expound upon is when I was saying to don't be afraid to ask your child for help, right? Because a lot of people, they think having children is hard. Having children is really not, raising children is not hard at all. I mean, would you agree? I mean,
Yes,
it's not hard at all. Let me rephrase it. It's as hard as you make it.
right.
So like raising children is very hard if you make it hard. Anything is very hard if you make it hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? It could be hard to make yourself a bowl of cereal if you sitting there complaining, banging the bowl and making messing. You know what I mean? It's all about how you go about doing something. What I would recommend everybody, somebody said my 1-year-old, something else. What I would recommend that you do is ask your child for their help. You know, a lot of parents, what they do is instead of, they view the child as their enemy, like they have to be against them. Sit your child down and say, hey, listen, cause what you see a lot, like you might have a parent on a bus and the child is being rude or disrespectful or something and the parent is embarrassed. You can sit your child down and say, you know, hey, it embarrasses me when you act out in public. You know what I mean? Would you mind, you know, not embarrassing me? Would you mind not embarrassing daddy? And normally, if you are respectful to your child, generally, they're going to want to appease you, right? Your child genuinely wants to make you happy. Like your child, I promise you, unless you are a complete douchebag, and even then they still are behind you. Like your children are 1,000% behind you. So if you ask your child, involve them, say, hey, it embarrasses me when you go to school and you know, and I don't care about schools, forget school, but I'm using this as an example. If they go to school and they're getting bad grades or they're acting out in class, what you acting out in class? Sit them down and say, hey, you know, it embarrasses me because I wanna be viewed as a good father. You know, I want them to look at you and be like, Dad, you know, he got a good dad, you know, he's taking care of him. Can you help me? Ask them, like literally ask them, like, please, can you help me? Don't go to them like, oh, you better do. Anytime you try to force somebody to do something, you're going to take a L. I promise you. Like the parents who think that you better go clean your room up because I told you go clean your room up. I don't tell my kids, go clean your room up because I said go clean. I asked them, you know, hey, would you mind cleaning your room up for me? You know, I would really appreciate it if you do that. And they want to do it because they want to satisfy you. They'll clean the room up and want to call you to come see it. If you are a parent that they respect and look up to and love. Now, if you're a parent that's a bully, every time they turn around, you on their neck, teaching them how to be yelled at and teaching them how to be disrespected and teaching them how to accept that negativity from another being. If you got to understand the power that you hold as a parent, as a mother, as a father. It doesn't even have to be biological. That's why I say as a parent. But when you're parenting a child, you have such great power. And you can do with that power what you want. You can use that power to make them want to do good. Or you can use that power to try to put fear in them and force them to do something. All of the parents who are doing that and think it's going to work are going to end up with 15, 16-year-old children that run away, steal cars, take money out their wallet, and they like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. Why did they do this? I didn't raise them to do this. It's because you didn't raise them at all. All you did was bully them until they got old enough to say, I ain't being bullied no more. And then they became who they was. But if you have to treat them the way you would treat your friend. You said that's love, gratitude. Somebody said something back there.
So another thing I want to point out too is a lot of the times when parents do get to the point where they're upset with their children, a lot of the times with those parents don't like take the time to realize is that your child is not trying to hurt you. I had to like realize that, like, yes, son. I had to realize that a while ago, because at the end of the day, it's like, son, you can't play with this. At the end of the day, they don't, what it is he want to play that game and he can't, he want to watch Noggin and I'm not paying for it. He downloaded Noggin on there. So what it is that Your child is doing something that you asked them not to
okay?
do, so you take it personal. And you like, well, you're not listening to me because I said, and it's like, but it's not about that. What it is they're just acting off of their emotions.
If everything's not
it's
okay,
not about
go in the back
attacking.
And together,
it's not about attacking.
That's what's gonna happen. So get it together, please.
So at the end of the day, we have to realize that as parents, we may emotionally feel like they're attacking us because they're not listening. But at the end of the day, they're not attacking us. They're not attacking us. They don't want to hurt us. They want to be able to live freely, and they should be able to. And the planet that was created from the beginning, they were able to run around and do whatever it is they wanted to do without being restricted by anything. So when they are restricted, they're learning these restrictions based off of a society that was built for us that originally was not here. So at the end of the day, when they're doing things that we don't necessarily want them to do, it's not to hurt us. So don't take it as you not listening, you being hard-headed, you just want to not listen to me. Like, no, they're acting off of their emotions. They're in their root chakra. Like that's what they're going to do. So at the end of the day, just don't take it personally, and you won't get so emotional about it, you know?
Yeah, and this is also where growing yourself spiritually comes in, so that you can understand some of the concepts that she's saying, because a lot of the things that we're talking about is hard for you to even, and yes, this will be saved. I see somebody ask, yeah, we'll save it. I wasn't going to at first, but I'll save it. But, yeah, like, you have to understand, like, that you are a soul and a spirit and not just some number in order to even conceive some of the concepts that we're talking about. Like, a lot of people, when you talk about respecting a child, they like, what? That's like an oxymoron to them, like a tall midget, you know what I'm saying? Or like a kind bad guy, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like an oxymoron. They like, respect a child, huh? You know, but that's because you don't understand what they are. Like, you just think that there's something that popped out. Somebody asked, you said, do we do any prosperity magic? Not per se.
Intentionally.
Yeah, not intentionally. Yeah. Well, we did some of it intentionally, but not intentionally. Not, you know, with the intent that I would in Taiwan, not to the level that you probably mean. So I'm answering this question based on, you know, who's asking me and the level that I know that you probably are. No, we don't.
Help me, please.
Let me see. Somebody said that's love. Oh, what's up, Ellie the Divine? Eli, if you still in here, comment, Eli, because you are a younger God, and I really like the fact that you're in here and able to hear this conversation that we have about parenting, because you have like recent experience with that. One love to you, brother, if you still here. I'm just going through to see if I missed any questions. And y'all, if y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in the question box, just so that we can see them when they pop up and we'll have to scroll through and find them. He said, I think a lot of parents are too egotistical to ask their kids about what they can do better. A part of vulnerability. Most parents won't open up to that respect. Yeah, that's
a big part of what he was saying about, you know, growing yourself. Can you change him?
I can.
Okay. So that's a big part of what we were saying about growing yourself. Because at the end of the day, his diaper's right here in the white side.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we have to be able to humble ourselves to our children. Like, it's not a one-way street. No relationship is a one-way street. The same way you want them to humble themselves to you and respect you and understand you and what you're going through, you have to do the same thing. Like, it's not a one-way street. Nothing is a one-way street. That's not the way things work.
Yeah. And I was gonna say something on that too. And one tip that I would suggest to y'all, y'all will pull in abundance. Okay. Yeah, well, we need to talk. But look, one thing I wanted to say too that I would suggest to y'all, those of y'all who have starseeds out there, God, does he barely even need to be changed? He probably just want attention. Yeah, he probably want our attention. But look, to a lot of the parents out there that have younger children, one thing that I would suggest, if you are, and this is tips to those who have both a god and goddess, king and queen, you know, masculine and feminine energy available. Anytime, because you might notice there will be an issue where the children get upset, get angry, start like flipping out, and it's hard to control them, right? One thing that we found, and this is more recently that we found that helps a lot, is the masculine energy removes them from the scenario. and controls them and brings them back because they want that feminine energy, right? So, for example, my son, if he's flipping out and he's like doing his thing, right, which they're gonna do because, like she said, they are free souls that they don't want to be controlled, and they shouldn't be. You know, we're forcing them to conform to this matrix's rules. But anyway, while this is happening, you're gonna encounter some times where they're gonna flip out. The masculine energy should remove them and then say, we're going to sit here until you calm down and control yourself and you're ready to go back to the feminine energy. You can refer to the feminine energy as the goddess, mom, whatever you have the title of, but we're talking about their return to the feminine energy. And what they typically do, even Jade, my youngest here, what they typically do is they calm down or they think. You know, they take a second to process, like, all right, I do want to get back to the feminine energy because they don't want the masculine. They don't want to stay with the masculine energy too long. You know what I'm saying? So they want to get back. So that's how you do that. And instead of beating them up, trying to punch them up. You know, I grew up during a time where if you cried, you catching these hands. I remember you 3-4 years old, they punching you in your chest if you start crying, like, chump, stop crying, punk. And they beat you. You know what I'm saying? That's how they do. And that's how they grow up and raise serial killers and shit.
Yeah, and what it took me a while to do too is I don't like having to have them, like, you know, cry for me because they do the mommy, I want mommy, you know, and it makes me feel bad. But at the end of the day, I have to understand that they need both energies. Like, it's not good for them to have too much of one energy, because they have to understand that in order for you to get the energy that you want, you have to be able to calmly, you know, convey the same energy. So that's something that I, as a goddess, had to work on because, you know, I love my babies and I don't like seeing them cry. So I instantly want to pick them up as soon as they start crying. So for a long time, we had the back and forth of, you know, you gotta stop. And I'm like, but you gotta stop being so mean to them. Yeah. You know, so we had that back and forth for a while. Yeah. But we both learned, we found a middle ground that worked for the toddlers that was best for them. Right. Even if we don't necessarily fully agree with it, it works for them. It's not about us, it's about them.
Right. It's like a happy medium because before we came into our spiritual awakening, which was probably in like
it's been over
2020, like the end of 2020, I think is where really we started like coming into our awakening. Like
you just wipe your
I was a little
face with that. That's nasty. You throw it in the trash.
I was a little bit aggressive with them. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I grew up, like I said, I grew up in a family where like aggression towards, you know, the children and stuff was like normal. It actually still is normal in that family. I'm not a part of it anymore, but aggression towards children was normal, and it was something that I just kind of like I reacted that way to my star seeds. You know, so I realized that listen, anytime that you get angry,
she got some in there. That's why.
Anytime
I'm pouring you some more.
Give me 1 second here.
Okay, good job.
Alright, come on.
Anytime that you get angry or you're like upset with your children, you want to understand that one, it makes it worse, but two, this is where shadow work comes in. Everything comes back to you growing yourself. All of those people who running from growing their self, when they hear spiritual talk and stuff, they leaving and all of that. You're doing your children a disservice because you cannot be the best parent you can be if you will not grow. Because there's certain concepts that I understand that I could not if I didn't grow. Like the one that I'm talking about. Like you have to understand that like well, go ahead, guys. So you about to say something? You have to understand that like, you know, I don't even know specifically what I was going to say because I veered off when I said what I said about, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can add something, though.
Just listen. Just know that you need to love, respect your children. And, what I was going to say is that you have shadow work to be completed. If you, I don't think they're going to be able to see you.
It's okay.
Look, she's here, y'all, just so y'all see. But you have shadow work that needs to be completed anytime you're like yelling and fussing at your child and screaming at him and wanting to hit him and all of that kind of stuff. You're truly angry at yourself. And this is a concept that most people would laugh at and click off the video because they can't Their brains can't fathom that. Like, and this is why you have to grow and understand like what you are inside. Like when you understand that when beings come to this planet, right? When beings come to this realm, they're like the children, the star seeds, their chakras have to be unlocked. So their root chakras are completely out of whack. When you understand that, you don't take it personal. And my goddess was saying this earlier. What we tend to do is we tend to think that your child is doing something personally to you when they act out. Like they're doing this because they're mad at you. But you have to understand they're doing this because they're frustrated and don't know how to control and deal with it.
And communicate it.
Yeah, like they might get mad. You see how like you might have children, they got food on their plate and you telling them to eat it. And like for instance, you might go to a restaurant, they bring you food, right? You like the spaghetti, but you don't like the greens that they gave you, and you don't like the rice. So you like, excuse me, can you get this rice? I don't like this. They don't know how to say that. So imagine how frustrating it is seeing this, not liking it, and can't communicate it because you don't know how to say it. You're angry, and then the person not listening to you, and then you just like, so they just like, so they start flipping out. But you view it as, you better do what I said. I told you to, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that is an ignorant perspective, and all of us are guilty of this. So I'm not gonna sit there and act like I'm perfect or nothing like that. I was before I understood this, and this is why your self-growth and understanding of our realm is important. Go ahead, guys.
No, I was just gonna add that, and that's also teaching them, because this is what I would explain to him when we were still asleep. I look, when I was asleep, but I had these certain, I've always been a very passive person. And that's where I had to grow as well, because I also had to realize that the children need some kind of sternness too. Everything can't be passive. But what I try to explain to him is, this is what you're teaching. Like, he's seeing you flip, or the children are seeing you flip out, and then you wondering why they flipping out when they get upset. And it's like, you're teaching it. You're creating a cycle. Like, how are they not supposed to be frustrated and throw things and bang things when you're yelling and screaming at them? Like, it's a cycle.
Yeah, and we specifically see this happen on a regular basis because, again, y'all, you got to understand, we have 4 children. And then we have 2, which are on their way over here now, which are here often as well, which are my 2 younger cousins, right? So what we see is we see them all interact with each other. So what'll happen is, let's say I yell and tell Gerald, stop doing that. You better not do that. You'll see another kid look at them and say, stop doing that. And we like, hey, don't yell at him. But right. But they're doing it because you told them to do it. You showed them. It's no different than, I feel this way, and I'm glad this came up so I can bring this up. There's a lot of parents, right? Their child will go to school and their child gets bullied, and then they get angry at the child for letting themselves be bullied. But it's like, you taught the child how to be bullied when you treated them like that. Because you would wonder,
shut up about it.
Right, you would wonder to yourself, a lot of parents, they get mad, want to beat their child up when their child getting bullied. Like, you better not let nobody beat you up. Why you letting people beat you up? But it's like, bro, because you taught me. Because it's the same thing you doing to me. You hit me and I can't hit you back. So once you teach them that, that's why we don't do listen, I don't believe in physically hitting your child to discipline them or to teach them. But I always have to put this caveat in there, right? If there were any, she don't necessarily agree with me with this, so watch her face. But look, like, the only time that I think like disciplining your child or whatever is okay is when they're in the younger stages. Not that time is real, so we're actually referring to energy. We're talking about their lower chakras, and we're talking about their development of their brain. We're not really talking about time. But when they're, for the sake of the matrix, when they're in their ages of, say, like 2, 3, 4, these are the ages where you can't have the kind of conversations with them that we're talking about. They don't understand it. So what happens is, like, for instance, if they go to touch the stove and it's hot, and you say that's hot, don't touch it, they're not going to really be able to comprehend that. But if you say, hey, don't touch that, then they'll comprehend that if I touch that, this is going to happen, and they won't touch it. Now there's a fine line with this, because you don't want to turn that into, I got an excuse now, a good excuse to hit. It's what your intent is. Your intent is to provide them with reasoning for not doing that act. Not to punish them, not to hurt them. It's just to provide them with reasoning to stop doing that act, right? So if they're playing with the wall plug or something and you want them to stop, they're not going to stop when you tell them to stop. I'm telling you this now. We have plenty of children up in They're not going to stop. If they got a fork and they're trying to put it in the wall plug, they're not going to stop because you said stop. If the oven is on and they about to touch it, they're not going to stop because you said stop. Even if they touch it and it's hot sometimes, they might not touch it again. Because this is the stage of growth that they're in. What's wrong? Okay. So, what you can do is just provide them with some incentive to not do it. You know what I mean? And my apologies if you felt like I just kept repeating myself. I just want to make it clear what I meant by that, because I don't want nobody to think that I'm saying it's okay to hit your child. I don't physically discipline my children. There are sometimes though that I am a little bit more, like God has said, I apply the masculine energy a bit more, right? And it's not because I want to, it's all about your intent. It's not about hurting the child. And I'm actually able to do it comfortably because I know I would never hurt my child. See, some people, they discipline their children physically, and I question if you would really beat your child the hell up. I question if you would really choke your child out. See, I don't ever have to question that about myself, so I know my intent is pure. So at that point, you know.
To answer your question, light skin beauty, yes, he did say something to me about okra water.
I did?
No, you did mention it to me before, but we didn't really get a chance to look into it.
Yeah, so we gotta note that down or something. Look, you about to get me in trouble on live. You could have DM'd her. She would have leaned on me. It's like, nah, I ain't no getting in trouble in this house, but good.
But yeah, and like I said, I've always been a very feminine soul. So I don't really believe in the hitting and the yelling and the screaming. I do have to raise my voice a little bit when it comes to the toddlers, just because they take me as a joke a lot of the times because I have a lot of feminine energy. But I try not to do that too often. And when it comes to the whole bullying thing and what he was saying, I just wanted to give a personal experience because, like he said, most people, which wasn't really him, when I was one of those people who got bullied growing up. And a lot of times in my house, when people when I brought situations to my mother that I wasn't comfortable with, I was yelled at and told to be quiet and stay in the child's place. So growing up, when I'm dealing with these children in school, my mind just went to be quiet and listen to what they said. So that's where a lot of, like he said, the bullying at school starts at home. And you may not even realize it. And then you also have to watch the people that are around your children. Please, listen, first of all, with our children will be with no one except him or us. Our older two, they go with their mom, so we can't really control what happens with them. But our youngest three will be with me or him. Because some of the experiences that I went through were not nearly as bad as the things he went through. But I am not accepting that in my children's lives. Not at all. Because although I had a very, very huge amount of feminine energy, don't mess with my children. I was turning into a whole different person. So and a lot of the things that happen to your children, you cannot take it back. Once they experience it, you cannot take it back. And it's not, I didn't think this would happen, or I apologize and now it goes away. This will stick with your child for the rest of their lives. So we cannot afford those kinds of mistakes. And I refuse to have my child go through something that I'm not okay with them going through. And it's crazy because me and him just had this conversation about, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what the conversation was, but we had talked about something happening, and I was just like, if that was to have happened to my kids, like I would have to choke that person, and there would be no going back. Like, I think it was with something that happened in your childhood, but it was just like, yes, that's nice. Yes. So it was just like, at the end of the day, I don't think I would be able to handle that. Like, and I can't take that back. Like, even Even most of my family members don't. They always ask me, when can I get the kids over?
Never.
No. Like, it's nothing personal, but no.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Like, it's not personal. Like, it's not against them. Like, but at the end of the day, I cannot chance my children in somebody else's hands. Because once that happens, it's nothing you're going to be able to say to me. Nothing. And in order to prevent my sanity and my children from being scarred, it's not going to happen. It's not personal. It's not to hurt you. Like, it's to protect my children. And if you can't respect that, then that's on you. You know?
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to speak on was the fact that, like, you know, you want to understand the power that you have when it comes to manifesting, and the power that you have when it comes to creating the reality that you want. Because this was not my reality a couple years ago. Y'all can check the hashtag #JGiddins and you can see stuff from years ago. This was not my reality. But this is either of our realities. But this is the reality that I manifested. And see, a lot of parents, right? A lot of people out there have been abused, right? I was not personal, but personal piece. So, I was abused, you know what I mean? Like, I was sexually abused. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna go into detail, but there was a woman that, you know, two of them that made me, like, you know, sexually go down on them and, like, made me suck their boobies and all this other stuff. That happened to me when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. There's been, you know, I was physically abused, you know what I'm saying? My mom's had a dude that beat me up and then she just pretended it didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of thing that people just excuse and say, well, you know, it happens. Like, no, bro, it don't happen. And number one, because that's not happening to my children.
And a lot of the times you're not even going to know.
I love you.
Because you leave them and then your children aren't confident enough to talk with you about these situations. Like, his mother, I'm pretty sure, would say she knew none of this stuff.
Girl, what?
And she probably didn't, because he didn't go and say, Ma, this girl made me do that. Like, no.
Yeah, she used to leave me at her boyfriend's house and see, I ain't gonna speak too much because then it'll be clear who did it to me. But like I said, listen, what I wanted to get into, I wasn't even getting into that, Goddess. That was a precursor to what I was trying to get to, which was some advice that I would give to people, right? To parents. And shout out to everybody who's in here, by the way. We've been consistently having 12, 13 people in here, so I just want to say shout out to everybody who's in here. Nothing but love and respect for you. If you have the ability to ingest this high-level information right now, I think that in itself makes you a decent parent, because that means you at least want to do better if you're not already doing better. Now that that's out of the way, like I said, one advice that I would give, because I saw a post earlier where people were saying, like, oh, well, you can't help it. You know how you have, like, uncles and stuff that abuse the children and all of that. People were saying, oh, that just happens, you know, you can't help it, blah, 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 because sometimes you gotta do this and that. Oh, I gotta go to work, I gotta go such and such, I gotta run down to such and such, I gotta leave my child here because I gotta go, blah, blah. Okay, so this is where manifestation comes into play, and this is where putting your priorities first come into play, right? Because when I say your child should never be with anybody except you, oh, let me rephrase. Your child should be with nobody except their mother or their father. Period. Now there's people that are saying, oh, well, that's not possible. I gotta go to work and I gotta go blah, 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 blah. All these things that the Matrix has created for you, right? But those same people manifest everything else they want in their life. You manifest this nice car, you manifest this house, you manifest all of that. So what I just want you to know is it's about what you put your intent into. See, me, I fought for custody for my eldest daughter and my 9-year-old daughter for 4+ years. And during that time, what's wrong?
I don't know.
I think she might hurt herself.
Oh, be careful.
See, that's why you're not supposed to be climbing on a chair. See, this is where the masculine energy come in, because we tell her not to climb on a chair. I don't want to hear it. It's like, nah, y'all. But listen, let's give her 20 seconds, guys. It's okay. All right. It's okay, guys. You good?
Okay, is it all better? Is it all better? Are we all better?
See how everything will be crashing down, and then 2 seconds later it's okay.
Is it all better?
So listen, during the entire time that I was, fighting for custody of my children, I was
Yes, that is a rose court.
manifesting in my mind that I never wanted to leave my children. That I wanted to be able to be by their side to make sure certain things that happened to me that people just allowed to happen as if it was okay never happened. And see, the thing about it is, even if I see somebody comment at grandparents, yes, I would say grandparents, I think, are an acceptable replacement for you temporarily. But here's my... Neither of ours are. But what I'm saying is,
I love my dad to death.
Listen.
But not happy.
Here's the stipulation. That is something that you need to be honest with yourself about, right? So grandparents are not okay replacements because they're grandparents, right? It has nothing to do.
Treated you badly. Most likely, treat your children bad.
And this is where you have to understand that family is sort of a curse, right? Like that word itself, it's sort of a spell that's put on you, right? Because when you say family, like that word, you got to understand words are spells. When you say family, it immediately provides an excuse for your own abuse. Like it provides like a wall that you pull over your eyes for stuff. You know, like there's so many people who their moms and dads abused them growing up. And if you try to ask them now what they say, oh, that's my mother, that's my family, right? That word will let you just excuse your own abuse. It'll let you pretend that things are normal. It'll let you drop your children off at a house that you know is not fit for them, and you'll just say, oh, but they're family. Insert that word, family. And I did a live where I was explaining the way words are spells. Like, you know, to try to sum this up as short as possible, because I don't want to turn it into a whole thing about that. Just understand that, you know, like if I were to say, you know, expeditiousous, whatever, and then something move without me touching it, you would say, we can answer that in 2 seconds, guys. We're going to answer that, Taiwan. But if I were to say expeditiosus or something and the cup lift up by itself, you would say, oh, that was magic. That was a spell, right? All words do this, right? So if you were to say, if I say, get up, or if I say, go get that cup, that's a spell. You have to really understand that, though. Like, if you don't understand the depth of what's happening, you have to understand when I say, go get that cup, these words have now forced your brain, the cells in your brain, to a molecular structure where you have now formed the imagination of a cup. Your body is now going to move. It's sort of like telepathy. Like if I say, go to the store, and the person gets up, raises themselves up, puts on shoes, opens the door, and go, that's a spell, right? So I'm saying this to say, when you say family, that word holds weight. Like when you say that, and it's only able to what's wrong with them having a flash?
It's
flashing in my eye.
Oh yeah, don't point it at
well, don't point it at sissy eyes. You know, if you say family, at that point you're now negating any type of accountability, responsibility, and this happens so much. And this is also the reason why y'all see how with the chosen ones, with the awakened ones, your families can be your worst enemy. They can be the ones that's holding you down. This is why from a young age, it's their priority to make you fear them, to make you, they call it respect, but they mean fear them, make you afraid of them, and make you attached to them and feel like you're nothing without them, so that your whole life you just excuse everything they do and you never hold them accountable. Me personally, I would say, because for instance, me personally, I haven't spoken to my mom in maybe like 6 years now. And maybe about 5 or 6 years now. And a lot of people would say, oh, you don't love your mother. Why you don't talk to my mother? Why you don't talk to your mother? I don't talk to my mother because I love my mother. Because I would argue that if you're just having this casual relationship with your parent, knowing that there's a bunch of abuse, you know that the treatment that she gave you was not correct, it was inadequate, and you just let her go on believing that it's right. You just allow her. You're the only person who can fix this. I'm talking to anybody who's watching this who knows that your parent abused you and you just won't say nothing about it. They need you. You're the only person who can speak up about it, yet you remain quiet. Why? Because that's my mother. Because you're afraid. You're fearful. Fear is what does this. This is why your throat chakra will never open. Because you're afraid. You're afraid that they're going to not like you. You're afraid that you're going to be alone. You're afraid what if they don't love you. You're afraid what if you need their help and they won't be there. You're afraid. You're just scared. And you have to let that go. That's fear that's been put in you since you were younger. And you have to understand that if you truly love this person, you would help them. If they were addicted to crack, you wouldn't sit there and watch them do crack and be like, I love her, I ain't gonna tell her stop because she might get mad at me. If you really love her, you would tell her the truth. So the reason that I don't speak to my mom is because if I were to, it would lie to her and tell her that everything she's done was correct. And that's not fair to her. She doesn't deserve somebody to sit in her face and lie to her. I love her too much to do that to her. The people who do that, I'm like, how do you love your mother when you really sit there and just lie to her and make her think everything is okay? You don't even love her enough to be honest with her? Nah, that's not the kind of love I want. I don't want my children to do that to me. If I'm abusing you, I don't want you to just pretend it's okay because you scared I'm gonna be upset. That's ridiculous. Like, and this is something that's a cultural thing. First of all, we all have to understand that African American culture is where this is ingrained in, right? And if you look at the root word of culture, it's what? Cult, right? Cult, sure. Culture. It's the act of a cult existing amongst an entire nation. So the African American culture is a cult. It's a cult mindset that everybody just follows. Like, and if you try to go against it, they do the same thing to you that they'll do in a cult. Banish you, put you out, try to kill you, do whatever they got to do to get you to shut your ass up. Because at the end of the day, and my apologies, but at the end of the day, they don't want this cult-like behavior to be put out there. And these are the things that we all have to speak out. All right, my apologies. Go ahead, Goddess.
I'm just saying. So it was a couple things that I wanted to address before we address the question, because he did have a question about grandkids.
Okay.
So when it comes to that, like he was saying, you definitely have to be at the point where you're, for your children's sake, speaking out. Because, you know, I have my dad ask me on a regular basis, when can I get the kids? And I'm like, Dad, I don't trust you to feed my kids correctly. Because you don't even feed yourself correctly. I mean, he might not like it. And he get to the, I wouldn't disrespect it, but I don't trust it. Like, I told him that. Like, I don't trust it. And you have to be open for your children. Because they're what's important. I've told my mother the same thing. My mother believes in hitting children. She said it on multiple occasions. First of all, I barely talk to my mother because me and my mother had a very strained relationship. Not going to go into details about that. But when I have had conversations with her at family functions or whatever, it's come up about people watching other people's children. And I say, I will never leave my children with my mother in front of her. She had the whole... And I was like, what? I wouldn't. You believe in hitting children. You didn't even treat me the way I would want you to treat me. I'm not leaving you with my children. Like, that's just that. Like, you can see them when you see them, and that's it. If you don't like it, then you can, you can just not see them at all. Like, I mean, that's up to you. But to address the question... So
Taiwan Johnson 84 said, how would you treat your grandkids?
They got a long time.
So I would...
Appreciate you too, T. Owens. I'm looking at the comments.
I would definitely treat my grandkids the same way I treat my kids for the most part, unless there was something that my child has addressed to me as a concern for them. At the end of the day, I will respect my child influence on their child for the most part. And if there is something that I disagree with that I can't handle, then that will be something I will have to remove from my life. Because I don't want to overstep them as a parent, but at the same time, I don't want to be a part of anything that's negatively affecting a child. So, and this is exactly what I was explaining. I actually had a very in-depth conversation with one of my aunts the other day because, she hit me and she was talking about how she cut off her son and she felt really bad for it. And she doesn't like the way it makes her feel, but he's bringing negative energy to her life. And I was like, look, at the end of the day, we raise our children. Well, we guide our children. And they're going to come to be their own person. They're going to make the decisions that is best for their lives. Not for yours. And at the end of the day, that's what we guide them to do. We don't guide them to make the best decision for our lives. That's not fair to them. We guide them to make the best decision for their own lives. And when they do that, we have to respect that if it's something that we can't handle, we will have to distance ourselves. I love my children to death. But if my child chooses to do crack cocaine and some more, whatever whatever they want to do, I will have to respectfully bow out. That doesn't mean that I love him any less, but I can't have that kind of energy in my life. That's not something that I'm accepting, and I'm not going to allow him to think that I'm going to accept. So not only for myself, I have to do it for him. So at the end of the day, as a grandparent, that's the way I would carry it, you know?
Right. So I'll give my perspective on that, and then we'll address the question that we have here. I'm going to start putting the questions in the pinning the questions, because that'll also help me stay on topic as well. So, and I wanted to say, Life Bloom said, I tell her all the time, now I have to inform my dad of his BS. I want to say much love to you. Yeah, kudos. Yeah, kudos and much love to you. And I'm always in support with anybody who loves their parent enough to be real with them. Now, I am Jay Owens. If you still in here, I am Jay Owens. Just I love that y'all shining. If you still in here, I am Jay Owens. Just put like a comment or something so I can know. But I'll still answer the question. I just want to make sure you're able to receive it. Actually, I think I can see who's in here. Hold on, y'all. Give me 10 seconds. Oh no, he's still in here. Okay. Let me see who in here. Who dipped out? Who stayed in? Let me see who in here. Hold up. Nice.
Oh my gosh, Jenny, that feels wonderful.
Taiwan THQ. Alright, shout out to everybody who in here. I got nothing but love for y'all. One love. Alright, so the question was, how have you dealt with the trauma from abuse? So, I would say that I've had several variations of dealing with it. Oh yeah, we're gonna pin each one. Once I'm done with this one. First off, but hold on. I wanted to address the grandkids. How would I treat my grandkids? I would just say I treat my grandkids the way I treat my children. My grandchildren are gonna be treated. First of all, it's gonna be with the respect of my daughter. So I'm gonna treat them based on the way my daughter allows me to treat them. But I'm sure she will probably back the way I'm gonna treat them. And if not, we will have a conversation about what I can do to better myself in order for her to feel comfortable with me interacting with her children, so that I don't end up in a position that my parent and her parents are in. So anywho. Now, how have you dealt with trauma? So I've dealt with different variations, or I've had different variations of dealing with it throughout my life, because I had a different understanding, you know what I mean, of the way things are, right? What's up, Vernon? So she came in at the good time. So like I said, shout out to Diamond Too Cute. That's my goddess little sister right there. Let me wave at her. So the way I dealt with it, right, when I was in my earlier days, I would drink, you know what I mean? Because I used to drink, I remember I was 21 years old. I was passed out downtown drunk, couldn't drive my car, laid out. I peed on myself, some more stuff. So what happened was, I would drink when I was younger, and when I say younger, I mean, 18, 19, 20, that age, right before my eldest daughter, right? I would also just be very angry, you know what I'm saying? I would play the game a lot and just kind of do things that would take my mind off of myself. This is why meditation is necessary. This is why sitting with yourself is necessary, because what you'll try to do subconsciously and not even notice that you do is find distractions and find things that keep you from thinking about the horrors that bother you inside. So you'll just, try your best to create a distraction for yourself, right? So like I said, that's how I dealt with it previously. The way that I deal with it now is to heal myself through knowing that I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure nobody else goes through it, and assure that my starseeds do not go through it, right? So at the end of the day, the abuse that took place with me, and neglect, I would say, was primarily through the means of just like neglect. A lot of it was neglect. So what I do is I just spend extensive time with my children, in terms of energy, right? Because when I say spend extensive time with your children, it doesn't mean y'all gotta like sit right next to each other all day. It just means that she just sent that.
Well, like probably 10 minutes ago, but I'm gonna see if she can sit here until.
Yeah, so it just means that basically, that basically you want to have their energy. Jesse, you want to say hi?
No.
My 9-year-old stepped out the room real quick. I'm just gonna let her pop in and say hi to y'all. Oh my goodness. Hold on. That's Justice, y'all. Alright, she doing some work. That's why she wasn't out here with us, alright? But yeah, like I said, I deal with it by just basically making sure that it never happens again. That's what helps me heal, knowing that I got this page I can promote, proper parenting. I can give tips to other parents. I can put information out there that I know will save somebody and help them from going through this, and just putting it out there. So somebody said, should I confront my mother?
Yes.
All right, let's put this in
I
the pen.
definitely would like to address that one first. There's nothing in there, son. You mind cutting them off?
Listen. She can. Yeah, she actually went through that specific. Yeah.
Can you take them to cut an orange real fast?
Yes.
So
let's go cut an orange, y'all. Let's get some
the
oranges.
question about talking to your mother about
Come on, let's get
childhood
oranges.
trauma. That's definitely something you should do. But when you do this should be something that you're doing to heal yourself. Don't expect, because this is a problem that I had dealing with when I did it. Don't expect to have acceptance. Do it to be able to get it off of your chest and to know that this is something that you're doing to heal yourself. But at the end of the day, she may not accept it. And you have to be prepared for that as well and move on from it. Because if you hold on to that, it's never going to heal, because she's never going to accept it. At the end of the day, you have to realize that some things aren't about them accepting it or them accepting accountability, because everybody's not built like that. What you have to do is be able to say, I said this, I got this off of my chest. You know how I feel now. You know that this happened to me. You know that this is the way this made me feel when you did it. So at the end of the day, I'm okay with whatever comes next, because I got it. I got you to hear it. As long as I said the words out of my mouth to you and conveyed it to you, you can't say it's a secret anymore. You can't say I didn't know, because I told you. That's what it should be more so about when it comes to you confronting her about it. It shouldn't be about her accepting responsibility, because that may not happen. And it's unfortunate, but everybody is not about that. And we tell it to our oldest daughter as well, because that is something that we have to go through as well with our oldest. But like I said, it's just unfortunate. But I definitely think that you should address her with your childhood trauma. I just will, like I said, want you to set your own, understand your expectations. Don't expect her to accept it, because it may not happen. You have to do this for yourself and yourself only. Don't expect it to be, oh, now I need her to accept it as well. Make it so that she knows it happened and she can't tell anyone it was a secret. Make it so that you get it off your own chest and it's no longer within yourself in this cage. That's what you should do it for. Not because you want her to accept that responsibility, because that's not really a logical expectation. That may be something that you want, something that you crave, something that you deserve. You deserve that acknowledgement. You deserve that acceptance of her responsibility. But that doesn't mean that you're going to get it. That's all I really have to say on that part, because I had to deal with that for a long time. I had to. Can you go let them in? I had to really accept that, and that was hard for me. It really was. That was something.
Let's go to the door.
Can you go get Asher and Ava?
Let's go get Asher.
So that was something that I really fought with for a long time, and it damaged me for a very, very long time, because no matter how much I told her this hurt me, she just would not say, you're right. and just leave it at that. It was always a but. You did because you did. I did because, and it hurt me so bad because I just wanted you to accept that you did this to me, that I'm not crazy, that I wasn't just feeling this way just because, like, this is something that happened. This is a factual thing that happened, but I could never get that. And at some point I just had to accept it. And I just had to be like, look, at the end of the day, I told you what it was, and that's just that. So now anytime we're having a conversation about it, it's like, you know what it is. I've been told you already. I'm done talking about it. I'm done explaining it. If you heard what I said, this is what it is. And I also had to learn to speak up for myself because I was so quiet for so long. Like I explained earlier, the bullying thing it starts at home. And because I had to be so quiet at home, it was hard for me to express myself a lot of the times. And so when it comes to that, it was hard for me to express myself to her on a regular basis. And once I got out of that cage, it was no more of that. Now it's no more of that. Me and her having a disagreement. This is what I feel. This is what you feel. We may not agree, but we heard each other. That's that. Point blank. Like I apologize that it may hurt you, but this is the truth. I only apologize that it hurts you. I don't apologize that it's the truth because I'm not gonna lie to you because it makes you feel better. And that's kind of how I carry it now. So, like I said, I just really, because I have this conversation with our oldest on a regular basis. Like, I really just want you to understand that she may not accept it, and it's gonna be very hard. And I know because I went through it. And that's like I'm trying not to get emotional about it, but it's like, it's a very touchy subject because that's what you expect and that's what you deserve from your parent. But at the end of the day, it may not be what you get. So that's all I really have to say on that part. And I just want to tell you that I appreciate your appreciation and your acknowledgement of accepting my advice in this situation.
I'm back.
I'm gonna step away for 1 second. He can take over the conversation for a second.
Yeah, like I don't know if I wanna. I appreciate you, goddess. She'll be back, y'all. Hold on 2 seconds. Well, I don't know. Hold on. We just got our cousin stopping by. She said, "Oh, hello, baby goddess." Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but you're right though. Yeah, I mean, I kind of overheard what she was saying. I had to let my younger cousins in, but Twilight Zone Tay, if you get a chance, watch this back, brother. I know you probably didn't catch a lot of it because you just came in, but I just would really recommend that you watch it back. It looked like he left out already, so he probably popped in and out. Just to give my perspective, let me see if nobody else asked another question, I'm gonna just. You want more oranges? Goddess, they asking for more oranges. Can you take it to mommy? She'll cut you some more, okay? Yeah, okay. These are organic potato chips, y'all. Made from yellow potatoes. But look, there's no other questions, so I'm gonna go ahead and just chime in on what I think about that, and y'all can, you wanna join me, goddess? So that way,
kids aren't here anymore,
Right. So my eldest goddess will go ahead and step in now. But so go within and go. All right. So I don't see no other questions. So let me read it so I can give my perspective. Should I confront my mother about my childhood traumas or just yet? Yeah, definitely don't move on. I would say, and I hope that a lot of what I say jibes with my goddess, but I'm pretty sure it will. Like, don't just move on. You know what I mean? Like, I would question. I mean, here's the thing. You can just move on. Nobody can tell you what to do. It's up to you what you want to do. But keep in mind that it's a part of your shadow work to address this, right? So if you have childhood trauma that you have with your mother, it is your obligation to at very least bring this up to her. Now, if you bring it up to her and you're trying to work it out and she's like, rah, 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 don't accept that negativity, then yes, move forward, which was what happened with me. That's why I ain't talked to my mother in 6+ years. But in an instance where you believe that you can talk to her, you can work it out, now that you're older, or now that she respects you more, it is your obligation to do so. Shout out to Rising of the Sun. I appreciate you for coming in, Reflection. Watch this video back. Anybody who comes in here, who in here right now, peace and love to you. I would highly recommend you watch the video back. We covered a myriad of topics. And I just really would like for y'all to get the energy that was given earlier in the video, okay? But yeah, like I said, definitely don't just move on from it. You said you got a lot of anger, yeah, and see that anger, that kind of answered the question right there. When you say I got a lot of anger towards my mother, you can't do that. You see, first off, I don't like to use the word can't. That's a spell. You can do anything you want to do. However, it is not best for your soul's growth that you do that, right? Because I had a lot of, anger towards my mother. My mother fought alongside her mother to keep her from me. So, of course, I had a lot of, built up anger and tension about the fact that none of my family wanted to help me, you know what I mean? But what you have to do is understand that anger will eat you up inside. Everything around you, and this is why we say reflection, like all of y'all are reflections of myself. The way you treat things is a reflection of the way you feel. So if you're angry at your mother, you're really not angry at your mother. You're angry at yourself for allowing your mother to do that to you, right? But in order for you to accept that, you have to accept accountability for the fact that you did it. So you have to address it. It's funny that they actually brought this up in a movie called Encanto. If y'all ever seen Encanto, where the young girl Maribel, she had to go talk to her sister, and she was like, Isabella. She was like, I don't want to talk to Isabella. And he was like, well, it's not up to Isabella. It's up to you. You have to do it. She was like, well, I don't like her. She's like, okay, well, she was like, what if she doesn't? She said something like that, but there was a point where Bruno told her, because nobody talk about Bruno, right? Because he's too real. I'm Bruno in my family. But, he told her, this is your quest, not Isabella's, right? So I would say that to you. This is your quest, not your mother's, right? You have to address this to your mother. She needs you. And I actually tell this to my daughters too, but I'm not going to get into that. But she needs you. There's nobody else. If your parent was abusive to you, there's nobody else who's in a position to teach them about that abuse than you. Because anybody else who does it, they can lie and pretend it didn't happen, or just, you know what I mean? They can try to obfuscate the conversation, but they can't do that to you because they did it to you. You know what I mean? So you're the only one who can step in there and say, hey, listen, Mom, you did X, Y, Z. And then that's where her shadow work comes in, and she has to understand the mistakes that she made, and she has to grow from them. If she's not willing to grow from them, then she's going to stay stagnant where she is. She's going to wonder why her life is always sad. It don't matter how much money she make, what kind of car she drive, what house she live in, how much she get. She ain't never going to be happy. Point blank, period. Because happiness don't come from that. I mean, I don't understand why people don't get that. Happiness don't come from that, bro. You can live in a mansion and commit suicide. Happens all the time. It's not about that. Happiness is within you. You know what I mean? And it's not even about happiness. It's more so peace. Because even happiness is an emotion. And emotion. And emotions are meant to halt movement. Hence, emotion, right? Anything that you feel as an emotion is going to halt your movement. It's going to stop you from progressing. Even happiness. Happiness will keep you stagnant and complacent and make you not do things. If you're happy, you're staying there all day. Anybody seen that movie, Percy Jackson? In the movie Percy Jackson, where they went into the Lotus Casino and they was in there having a good time, popping them things, and they stayed in there for days and didn't even know they was in there because they was happy. That emotion will prevent your movement. Any kind of emotion is not godlike. Emotions were cast on us and put on us. You have to understand this. And once you understand that, it'll help you. You know what I mean? Any emotion you think of. I know you probably thinking, well, happiness, that's good. There's no such thing as good and bad. That's opinionated, right? Whether or not something's good or bad is opinionated. It's only things that happen and results of the happening, right? So at the end of the day, any emotion you name, whether it be excitement, all of those things will hold you and keep you captive. So you have to just learn to see things for what they are and move. You know what I mean? That way, so if you apply this to Ava, be careful. Ava, be careful because you're hitting that for me, okay? And I want you to hit that because you're knocking this around, okay? And by the way, high five. How you doing? Good? Okay.
Decent.
My younger cousin over here, y'all. So like I said, you know what I mean? I just want to make sure that y'all understand. We gonna get out of here in a minute, y'all. Okay, because we gotta address our surroundings. You know what I mean? But I want to just make sure that everybody understands what I mean by that. I saw somebody had another question too. I want to hold on. Can love and law be mixed? Tamara. Oh, what's up, Tamara? Peace to you, goddess. Can you
Tamara?
I don't know. But we know her. We're pretty cool. That's the one you used to see us on the videos with the help with the grants and stuff. But Tamara, confirm with me if it's Tamara or Tamara. I can't remember which one it was, to be honest with you. My apologies, but I'd say Tamara. But can love and law be mixed? Clarify what you mean by that for me, because it's just when you say law, I'm trying to see what you mean by that, because you know that can be taken many different ways. I think I saw another question too. Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
Joe.
What are you doing?
Joe poop.
Joe poop?
Yeah.
Come here, son. Come here. I don't think Gerald pooped, Ava, but I appreciate you for giving me that update. Alright, so I'm gonna unpin this because I don't wanna keep your pin up there, bin post. We already addressed it. How do I unpin this? Jeez. How do I unpin this comment? Oh, okay, I gotta press and hold it, which it's not responding for some reason to. Okay. Alright, so oh, I was like, where's okay. So like I say, y'all, everything starts with self, and peace is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Okay. No problem. We appreciate you as well. Okay, look, Tamara said I'm right. It's Tamara. Alright, Tamara, my apologies. I wasn't sure which one it was. Alright. But look, we gonna go. Is there anything you wanted to say? Anything before we get up? Oh, do you want to go and get up? She said, can love and law be... Alright, she said, some people be like, do you understand me, but would come back with that means I'm under your authority. So they feel they can't trust you because of fearing being so-called controlled. Tamara, won't you come on with us? Won't you jump on live with us? I don't know what you... Because, I rock with you, Goddess, so I want to know. I was about to ask you, do we need to get off the live?
No, it was something you said that she was saying. You said she said something, and then you read the comment.
I apologize, Goddess. I don't remember. I don't remember, y'all.
It annoys me when you do that. But you were saying that she was saying something, like... Let me see these comments.
Yeah, I don't remember what I would have been saying to you. Maybe that, when she said that, which I was waiting for her to expound upon. Yeah, that's probably what it was. That's what she had expounded upon.
Law be mixed.
Right. So
yeah.
Come on, I'm gonna bring you on. Wait, whoa, go ahead. What?
No, I was just gonna ask the person who asked it. That was her.
That's Tamara.
Oh, can love and love.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a request, Tamara. She said about authority and. But I'm not 1,000% sure, and I need her to. What's up? What's up, Boo? What's up, Tamara? How you doing, Goddess? Much appreciate you.
We need to, everybody. Yeah, I'm going through a thing where I'm realizing, because I'm in the law, and I study it, and I act in it. So I'm coming to a realization that people mix law and love in an imbalancing way where it's confusing, and now we don't know how to separate the two when it's needed for certain things, even down with feeling empathy or sympathy, differentiating the difference. And basically, long story short, people are scared of loving, it seems like, because you try to understand somebody, that what I need from you is understanding, those kinds of things. In etymology and law, they say, and you can look into it, it says pretty much it's under someone's authority. And when you're under someone's authority, you're under their control. And people feel like with love, that means I'm under your control. So
I didn't
how do
smell it
you?
on
I
them.
mean,
I didn't see them.
can you really mix those two?
Yeah,
Like,
I
is
don't think
there a
they
way
can.
it can be differentiated
I don't know.
for a
It'll be
balance
okay
of
though.
each?
You
So
just change the
I
reason.
believe it can, and people, you know.
Come here,
Well,
Jay.
how do y'all feel about that? How do you feel?
So that's a very interesting topic or question. Because that was something that we dealt with for a long time. Because like I said, for me, I battled with that growing up, where I felt that I was always, controlled. So I had a hard time dealing with that. But what you have to look at it is, it's not love and law, it's love and agreement, because you're one.
Okay.
So you have to understand that it's not a law. Nobody is creating this law. Even if it has to be changed, it's something y'all agree on together, y'all work with together. And like you said, there was times where, he would be like, understand, I just be like, because I dealt with that, and I have to tell myself on a regular basis, I have to not do that. Like, I still sometimes do it, but it's because I revert back to that self. Like, and I have to realize it's not about law. It's not about who's right and who's wrong, who created this. It's about how can we fix this together. How can we create something that we agree on together? Like, okay, if this is not completely working, what little thing can we tweak to make it now and agree upon together? Like, no, okay, because I said so, now it is. No.
Yeah.
We say so now it is, because we are
Pick that
together.
up and put it in the trash. Get down.
I like
get
how
down.
you word that.
Down.
And so crazy. That means
in the
you
trash.
get it. Yes.
Yeah, and it's crazy because now that I know that certain words are spells, I don't even like
if we have
using
trouble,
certain words. Like,
you get yourself together.
Like, certain words, I'm not okay with. Yeah.
Right, meaning they're calling.
I don't even like using certain words because, like I said, the word law is just like, that word is just cringing in a relationship. Like, what do you mean law? Like,
law backwards is a wall. You're gonna hit a wall. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, you done hit that. Like, you done ran into a wall because one person feel like they're in charge and the other person feel like they're being dominated. Like, we got to work together.
Yeah, so I get as I heard her respond to you, I kind of got more what you meant. So
it's all gone.
I don't,
no more. It's all gone.
From knowing me personally, I don't respect law. I don't have no respect for law anyway.
Oh no.
But the reason being is that the ideology that law is about right or wrong is a misconception. Hey, no, down. We're not doing that, Joe. The ideology that law is about right or wrong is a it's an illusion. You know what I mean? Law is not about right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Law is just it's about a set of rules to keep people in line, and we don't keep people in line here. That's not how we. In any facet of my life, I don't keep anybody in line because that's a form of control, and I don't want to control anybody. I'd rather not know you than have to control you. So I just think it's about what your mindset is. I would never have any kind of law. If there's any law that I follow, it's the law that the goddess is the ruler. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's a very easy law.
I don't agree with that
song.
That's my life.
I like us to be like, we are equal. And he frustrated me when he do that too, because I'm like, no, don't just agree with what I said either. Like, I don't.
Exactly. Don't disagree with me. Like, we gotta work.
Yeah.
Everybody get up.
But yeah, so it's definitely something that was a good question, because I do feel like that's something that relationships may struggle through and struggle with, especially with very dominant men, because a lot of the times in the society that we grew up in, men are supposed to be the rulers, the kings, and women be quiet. Especially with the, Caucasoids, they created this, they don't respect their women. So at the end of the day, they told us not to respect our women. So
the melanated men had to teach them how to love a woman. They had to teach them how. They didn't know how. They taught her.
So listen, y'all.
Yeah, it sucks.
We're gonna have to conclude this. Tamara, I'm gonna say peace to you guys so we can bring you off while we wrap up everything. All right. One love to you. We'll talk to you soon. We'll talk to you personally anyway. You know what I mean about what we talk about. All right. One love to you guys. But yeah, you know, to everybody else, I want to say peace and love. Y'all see the kids, listen, they're not gonna have it.
So cousins just came over, so things are not real.
Right. Not that they weren't real in the beginning. It's just it gets realer when they get around other children that they wanna, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So sending positive vibes to everybody. We appreciate y'all so much. We will do this again. We actually got a really good response from everybody. A lot of people, you know, interacted. So I want to say very much appreciation to everybody. And remember, if you watch this back, just comment any questions or concerns that you might have had so we can address them in the next video that we will do. Peace and positivity to everybody. Remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle. Until the next time, the Giddins is out. One love, family.